What's up everyone, this is Scott from New Garden Road and I'm here to inform, inspire, and elevate you. While caterpillar damage on your kale might not be the end of the road, it is a cosmetic nuisance. Here's a basic overview of how to control caterpillars on your kale, broccoli, and other brassicas. So one of the telltale signs that you have caterpillars in your garden would be small holes on the leaves of plants such as kale, broccoli, cabbage, collard greens, anything in the brassicas family. You'll find them on some other leafy greens, including lettuce and spinach. Regardless, you're going to be seeing the same signs and you're going to follow up with the same action. The holes that I'm finding on this leaf you can see are irregular in size. There's some smaller ones, some larger ones. That's just a result of several caterpillars feeding on the underside of this leaf. And some ate more than others, some were bigger than others and could eat more. When these caterpillars first hatch, they are super teeny and they're going to make the teeniest holes in your plants. But that is a great time to catch them because you'll be able to take action before they eat much. Sometimes just half the foliage membrane has been eaten. Just like I was saying, these caterpillars start out really small. They just can't eat through the whole leaf all at once. So when you're seeing this from the other side, you're going to see a pale, thin patch on that leaf, and that could be a strong indicator, like some of those small holes, that you've got caterpillars eating on your plants. This is a red flag when I see this. What do you know? A bunch of little caterpillars. As these caterpillars mature and get bigger, you may start to notice some of the leaves have been eaten all the way to the stem, so you may have like some bare stems on your plants. That's a good indicator that you've got some full-grown caterpillars on there. One of the things that you're likely to find on these plants is frass. That's a fancy word for what these caterpillars make in terms of a waste product after they've eaten your kale or your broccoli. The next thing you want to make sure you do is inspect those plants closely for pests. You're going to need to use both hands and look on the underside of the leaves. This is best done early in the morning or in the evening. Caterpillars are going to be most active overnight in the cover of darkness. That's when they're going to be out there in your garden doing their feeding. So you may need to bring along a flashlight or something like that, set it up, and like I said, use both hands and observe for those caterpillars. Let me know if you like this video. Oh yeah. And while you're at it, subscribe to my channel for more awesome gardening videos. Encouraging biodiversity and restoring habitat is my mission, one garden at a time. Now it's time to take some action. Physical removal of caterpillars from your plants is 100% organic. Put on some gloves if you need to and remove as many of those caterpillars as you can find. Alright, so what do you do when you find a little infestation, a little outbreak like this? You can smash them gently. It doesn't take much pressure, they'll go. If you only have a few plants and you're able to do this every day, you'll avoid any major infestations. Another option that you can choose is a physical barrier. You can take some insect netting, lightweight row cover, or some tulle fabric. You can construct a hoop house for your vegetable garden and cover those plants completely. This can be highly effective in keeping moths from laying eggs on your plants altogether. So if you're like me, you've got a lot of these brassicas growing in the garden and you haven't set up a physical barrier and you've got caterpillars emerging and eating on those leaves. At this point, the best option for you is going to be BT. BT is a biological insecticide that controls worms and caterpillars specifically. It's considered a low-level insecticide and it shouldn't harm beneficial insects or pollinators. Just be sure that you don't apply this BT onto any butterfly host plants. It should be applied in the evening as it will rapidly break down when exposed to sunlight. As caterpillars emerge in the evening and start to feed, they'll ingest the BT and subsequently stop eating for good. If I see a lot in this size, that's when you can consider applying some BT, particularly if you're squirmish about the physical removal. That's completely reasonable. Maintain vigilance throughout the season. I'm always monitoring for adult moths and egg clusters. The moths like to fly in the evening. Sometimes you'll see them early in the morning. But take note of those. For me, it's a red flag. I see those moths flying around the garden pretty frequently, and I had an idea of what she was up to. You could see that obviously I disrupted the situation, but there was definitely at least one egg that looked like it was laid on that leaf. You can see them out here throughout the season, so you really need to keep your eyes peeled. The egg clusters look like pale, flat, yellow globs of residue, and they'll be on the top or the underside of the leaves. Basically what you've got there is a grouping of eggs that's covered in a mucus-like membrane. That is a clutch of eggs that's been laid by a moth. I see another small one down to the left as well. I'm going to take those off with a little pocket knife. That's going to be it. Just carefully remove those eggs with your fingernail or a small pocket knife, cast them off to the side, take them away from the plants, and you will be reducing the number of caterpillars in your garden. Very proactive, organic way to approach it. For me, this really points to the importance of training your eye. It's one of the central premises in my gardening philosophy. By observing nature as a whole and becoming more familiar with some of the smaller pieces, we can develop a keener awareness of what our role is in the balance. I briefly want to talk about fertilization. This can be really important when you've had a breakout of caterpillars in your garden. Early this season, I had them practically decimate my young kale plants. By using a fish emulsion that's rated higher in nitrogen, which corresponds to leafy green growth, I can get them to bounce back pretty quickly. I made a liquid fertilizer from a concentrated fish emulsion called Holy Mackerel. It's a 310, and that's going to push more green growth on those plants. Maintaining a consistent fertilization schedule will help produce more food for yourself and can make up for any damage caused by caterpillars. I don't really want to say poop. Waste product? You know what I mean. Almost just got eaten by a dog. That's right. Yeah. Now you want to watch this video for more information on how to fertilize a vegetable garden. You can grow your own food. Keep it organic.